Welcome back to the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. Jay, we are getting more interaction from Errol Spence than we've gotten in the last 5 months in just one day. We heard earlier today that Errol Spence suffered cataracts. I believe it's in his right eye. It appears to be in his right eye, but I'm not 100% sure about that.
Yeah.
But regardless, he has experienced cataracts, and so he had basically his stories basically shows some of the situation in terms of coming from the hospital with the eye injury. And he mentioned how it may have affected him in the fight against Terrence Crawford. Now he's taken to his Twitter, which is something that he hadn't been on in probably about 5 months, Jay. And he released several tweets. Welcome back, EJ. Welcome back. I'm certainly appreciative of Errol being back and talking. So he released several tweets here, man, starting probably about an hour or so ago. You might be right about the one-trick pony, because somebody said something to him. Actually, let me read this tweet. He just way better than you, one-trick pony. At Errol Spence, he said, you might be right, but one-trick pony. Got Olympics, kids in private school, mom and pops retired years ago, passport full of stamps, and I don't have to pick up a glove again if I don't want to. Now, there are a few other things that Errol had to say in regards to well, it was just really just a series of tweets. But the one that I want to focus on in this video that I thought was interesting, he said, and a lot of people are in the comment section in our videos talking about this, Jay. He said, all that said, you can kill the retire shit, though. Yeah, I got my ass beat. Shit was past due. I didn't live exactly like a boxer for the most part. LOL. So, Errol is admitting to, I guess maybe he doesn't have any choice, but, some people have been trying to say that this is an excuse talking about the cataracts. Errol is basically saying that he got his ass whooped, that he hasn't quite lived like a boxer should live, and that was past due that he got his ass whooped. And I wanna focus there, Jay. Because no, he's owning it. He's definitely owning it. And I don't necessarily see it as an excuse, but here's what I do feel about this. So he hasn't lived like a boxer. And we first and foremost, there were a number of Terrence Crawford fans that stated that, the lifestyle of Errol Spence is going to be a contributing factor. Yeah, it's going to be a contributing factor in this fight. But I guess my thoughts are, so you knew that you weren't living the lifestyle of a fighter, and yet there were comments from him on Ellie Setback saying that if he can't get in shape in 8 weeks, then, it is what it is, essentially. And when you think about Errol's career, it felt like, just based off what he's saying, that he was able to just get away with a lot of things, and that it eventually caught up with him against a fighter who was top notch. And you ask yourself, well, Errol, if you know this guy was top notch and that you weren't living exactly like a boxer, was it the appropriate time to actually even take the fight? And if you are, and if you weren't living exactly like a boxer, are you living exactly like a boxer today, such that people will believe in him in terms of a rematch? You got to ask that question based off of that comment, right? It's unfortunate that, because we've seen a lot of people say that Errol's wasted talent. Is that possible? Absolutely. Just considering some of the things that have occurred. But I still think Errol is an absolute top-notch fighter. Absolute top-notch. And I think there's some things that he needs to tighten up on. Now, certain people feel like it's time for him to retire. We heard that a while ago. We've heard people saying that today with the injuries. And it's just been a succession of eye injuries with Errol. I'm not sure if this is the exact same eye, but even at one point I was thinking like, man, maybe he should retire. Maybe the damage has accumulated such that, he can't do it anymore. But Errol feels like he is still there, still has the ability to be successful in the sport. And if he feels like he still has that ability, then by all means, give it another shot. But at the same time, the level of commitment to the way that he should be living is going to have to improve. And I know some people are going to say, well, Errol has already said that he's improved. But we also saw Errol on, I believe it was I can't think of the name of the podcast with the ex football players, but he mentioned that he was still wilding out even out. Yeah, the pivot. He mentioned that he was still wilding out even after the car crash. So how long was that? I don't know. Maybe there is a high level of commitment now, but it's you got to think about that, man. If a rematch takes place, and I'm doubtful that a rematch would actually take place now, but what's your thoughts on that?
I mean, I appreciate him coming out. I mean, this is what I've been wanting to see him tweet for a while. Just because, not just him just tweeting about the boxing, but he's entertaining when he does tweet for the most part, because he tweets about a lot of different things at times. As far as him, I'm glad he said y'all can kill that retire shit. I got tired of people saying that from the get go. People tried to accuse us of saying, I was like, we never said that. Never said he would retire. I never said that. I just thought he should take time to get everything right for him. He pretty much alluded to it, saying that he didn't live the boxing lifestyle. He just used his grit and his God-given ability and toughness just to fight through and push through other fighters. Came up against a person like Terrence Crawford, who was a boxing fanatic. He's always a gym rat. He's always in there. And it took more. It would take more than him just doing the normal to get past a Terrence Crawford. And that was proven on July 29th. For him to admit that and know that, he understood. He understood he was on borrowed time, but he just thought he could just use true, as he always said, true grit and get through and push through the fight. He couldn't do that against, but he also talked about how, the tweet that I don't think you mentioned, he's like, they asked me, did I want to do the pressure, showed up, no glasses, answered all the questions, head up, gave bruh a hug for the ass whooping, good shit, and dip. Yeah. I mean, he owning it. I mean, he taking it like a man, took it on the chin. So I give him credit, all the credit in the work, because some people wouldn't come out like this still. Even though it's been some time, he's still coming out just like it just happened like yesterday. I give him all the credit in the world for that. And this is what I want to see him just coming back just to talk and tweet about his about everything for him. So with people wanting to bury Spence from the very beginning after the fight, it was just crazy to me. I mean, some people were just hating. Others were concerned for Spence because they genuinely like Spence and they see what Spence has been through from the accidents and then a fight like this. They were concerned for him, but he seems to be fully, back to himself as far as what he's tweeting right now. It just sucks that, it came out like this with them showing him in the wheelchair with having the surgery in the eye and everything, that I'm like, damn, now, he has another delay, but Spence being the person he is, I think he's going to battle back through it, and we'll see what happens later this year. To your point, it's definitely questionable if the rematch does take place, just because it's being pushed back, and Bud's not going to try to sit around and wait. And I can't blame him for not wanting to wait on that as well. But it's just great to see my boy Spence back out there, tweeting and really clowning a little bit on there too. He's responding to some people that's been hating and stuff like that. So a lot of people that said that we were hating on Spence, we never hated on Spence. We can be critical of all fighters, whether it's our favorite fighter or our least favorite fighter. That's what we've always done and will do.
Yep, absolutely. So, we'll see what ends up, but he's back. He's been talking. I'm curious to see what else he has to say in regards to the fight. He did say he just tweeted something else, but it's not in regards to this. So maybe he's off this topic for the night. But you guys tell us what you think in the comment section about Spence saying that, he wasn't exactly living the lifestyle of a boxer, and, owning the fact that, he got the ass whooping. I mean, I've said this on multiple occasions. Two things can be true. There could have been something wrong, but at the same time, you got to give Terrence Crawford his proper respect in terms of what he was able to deliver that night in the fight. And living the lifestyle of a boxer is part of being, or it's part of your greatness. It's part of your skill set. So you know, you can't, it's not necessarily an excuse. It's just, you got to take it in its proper context. And that's part of what makes Spence who he is and what makes Crawford who he is. So don't forget to hate, like, comment, and subscribe. This is the Angry Man Podcast, M Sports Media, and we are